Hey, Street Outlaws fans! If you've been following Big Chief and Jackie, you know they've been in the middle of a massive shop move, and it's not just a simple relocation. This move involves tearing down barns, reshaping land, and strategically placing storage containers for maximum efficiency. The whole process has been filled with challenges, tough decisions, and exciting possibilities for the future of their racing empire. Let's break it all down and see what's really happening behind the scenes. You know how it is, sometimes, an old building just doesn't fit into the bigger picture anymore. That's exactly what happened with the small barn on Big Chief and Jackie's new property. At first, they weren't in a rush to tear it down, but after some expert advice and a little reflection, it became clear that the barn wasn't adding any value to their setup. Big Chief admitted that he wasn't the one pushing for it to come down this time. Instead, it was just a necessary step in making room for their new and improved layout. With an excavator on hand, they got to work, tearing down the barn and even removing a tree stump the size of a Volkswagen. The new shop is larger than their old one, which is great news for their growing operation. But here's the thing, extra space doesn't mean anything if it's not used wisely. At their previous shop, storage was always an issue. Between race car parts, tools, and equipment, it was easy for things to get cluttered fast. Back then, they had two storage containers, one for parts and another for various tools and materials. Instead of cluttering their new shop floor with all that extra stuff, they decided to use a smart storage system to keep their workspace clear and efficient. Jackie put it best. There's no point in having all this shop floor space if you take it up with parts and tools. So, instead of letting their new shop turn into a massive storage shed, they came up with a game plan. Rather than just setting up their storage containers in random spots, Big Chief called in an expert, his longtime buddy from high school, Lo from 405 Outdoors. With his experience, they came up with a brilliant solution. Arrange the two storage containers in an L shape. Use the dirt from those areas to build up the ground level. Partially bury the containers to keep them stable and blend them into the landscape. This would create a level area for parking and storage while making everything more organized and accessible. With gravel leading straight to the shop, it would be easy to move parts, tools, and race car components in and out. Plus, if they ever wanted to build a fence to lock in trailers and secure the area, this setup would make it much easier. One of the biggest challenges of the new property was dealing with the landscape. The whole area had a natural slope, with giant hills and trees everywhere. While some of the trees were great, others were dead and posed a risk to the shop, especially in strong winds. Instead of cutting down all the trees and creating a huge parking lot, they found a balance. By leveling out specific areas and keeping the trees that mattered, they made sure they had enough space for trailers and equipment while preserving the natural beauty of their land. With the game plan in place, it was time to bring in the big machines. Getting the containers moved and positioned wasn't a simple task, but with the right equipment, they were able to carefully maneuver everything into place. At one point, they even had to adjust their approach when things didn't line up exactly how they wanted. But as always, Big Chief and Jackie were hands-on, guiding the process and making sure everything was just right. After a lot of digging, lifting, adjusting, and problem-solving, things started coming together. Now that the storage containers are set up and the land is leveled, the next steps include graveling the area to create a smooth parking space, organizing the storage inside the containers, fine-tuning the shop's layout for maximum efficiency, deciding whether to extend the shop further in the future. They even talked about the possibility of splitting the shop into two sections, one for working on race cars and another for keeping pretty cars on display. But for now, the main focus is getting everything settled and making sure the space is functional for their day-to-day racing operations. For Big Chief and Jackie, this isn't just about moving to a new shop, it's about setting up their racing operation for long-term success. A well-organized space means more efficient race car builds, easier access to tools and parts, better preparation for big races, less clutter and more room to innovate. Plus, by investing in their property and infrastructure, they're making sure they have a solid foundation for whatever comes next, whether that's expanding, taking on new projects, or even welcoming more racers into their space. Big Chief and Jackie's move is more than just a shop upgrade, it's a huge step forward in their racing journey. With a smarter storage solution, a functional shop layout, and a game plan for the future, they're setting themselves up for even bigger and better things in the racing world. And let's be honest, watching them tackle these challenges, get their hands dirty, and figure things out as they go makes us all excited to see what's next. While this move is all about efficiency and planning for the future, there's also an emotional element to it. Big Chief's old shop wasn't just a workspace, it was a place where some of the most iconic moments in Street Outlaws history happened. The memories of long nights, hard-fought races, and the evolution of his racing career are all tied to that space. But as with any chapter in life, growth requires change. Moving to a bigger, better-equipped shop means leaving behind the past and stepping into something new and exciting. Jackie, always the level-headed strategist, has played a huge role in keeping everything on track, making sure that this transition is about progress, not nostalgia. One of the biggest advantages of this move is how it opens the door for future projects. With more space and a better organized layout, they can take on bigger builds, crazier upgrades, and even potential collaborations with other racers. This isn't just about working on the Crow, this is about having a space that allows them to innovate. Whether that means testing out new engine setups, fine-tuning aerodynamics, or experimenting with fresh racing strategies, this shop gives them the flexibility to push boundaries like never before. Fans of Midwest street cars have been wondering how this move affects their brand and their presence in the racing scene. While the name Midwest Street Cars is legendary, it's clear that Big Chief and Jackie are evolving beyond just a shop name. They're building a racing empire that reflects their current goals and future ambitions. This new setup doesn't just serve as a workspace, it's a home base for the next chapter of their journey. Whether that means hosting race teams, filming new content, or simply having a space to test and refine their cars, it's all about moving forward with purpose. For those who have been following Big Chief since the early days, this move is exciting. It means more content, bigger builds, and a deeper look into the world of no-prep and street racing. With a more efficient shop and storage system, they can work on cars faster, film more behind-the-scenes action, and give fans an even better experience. It also means that we might start seeing more projects than just the Crow. Could there be new builds in the works? Maybe some collaborations with other Street Outlaws legends? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the future is looking bright. Now that the shop move is coming together, all eyes are on what comes next. With racing season heating up and plenty of high-stakes events on the horizon, we can expect some serious action from Big Chief in the near future. Whether it's taking the Crow to new levels or bringing a completely new build to the streets, the possibilities are endless. And let's not forget Jackie, she's been a driving force in making sure everything runs smoothly. Her involvement in both racing and the shop setup shows just how dedicated she is to the sport, and it wouldn't be surprising if we see her taking on even more projects in the future. As always, the racing world has opinions on every move Big Chief makes. Some are excited about the changes, seeing them as a necessary step forward. Others are wondering if this means a shift in priorities. Will we see less street racing and more structured competition? Or is this just another stepping stone in his never-ending journey to be the best? One thing is for sure, Big Chief has never been one to back down from a challenge. Whether it's dominating the streets, tuning the perfect setup, or proving his haters wrong, he's always been about pushing the limits. This new shop is just the latest upgrade in his quest to stay ahead of the game. The move is nearly complete, and Big Chief and Jackie are laying the groundwork for an even more intense, competitive, and exciting phase of their racing careers. With a better shop, smarter storage, and a clear vision for the future, they're setting themselves up for some of the best racing yet. Now, the big question is, what's next? Will the Crow get even faster? Will they introduce a brand new build? One thing is certain, whatever they do next, it's going to be big. Stay tuned, keep watching, and get ready for the next chapter of Big Chief and Jackie's racing legacy.